Welcome back to Saving the California Dream. Heidi Kuda.
They call it Texas friendly, a warmth that emanates from the people of Texas, even as the state goes after our jobs. During my interview with Governor Perry, he had that Texas friendly spirit, particularly when talking about California.
20% of the national economy is in California. For California to fail would be devastating to the American economy.
And so you sort of view us as this heavyweight champion that got a little bit lazy, maybe drank a little bit too much booze, and now here we are waking up a decade later saying what happened.
California is the most beautiful, broken place in America.
You know, you can't argue with success. You're about to meet one man who left Texas 20 years ago to live the California dream. But in an open letter to Governor Brown, he explains why he's now planning to leave that dream behind.
The reality is, look, I work very, very hard to create this. None of it was given to me. I came for the California dream. I moved from a 0% state tax, Texas, 20 years ago to California. I knew exactly what I was getting into. I paid millions of dollars in state taxes without any resentment to that. It's been a fair exchange. But at some point, I'm like, I can't even plan anymore. I wouldn't have a problem with an increase in taxes if where the money was going, the people were responsible. These people are irresponsible.
What got you to the point that you actually sat down and wrote that letter to Governor Brown?
And when Jerry Brown comes out and says, hey, I'm gonna go to 13.5% on anybody that makes over $1 million, I'm like, this is enough. I write this man a letter, I can't get a response from his office. I can go to Texas, I can go to Nevada. Nevada looks really good now. I can go to Florida where there's water and boats. I can go to all those places that want my business, that want my employees, that'll be like open arms. Please come here.
If you are actually serious about taking your family and moving out of state.
We've already put our house on the market.
If you could sum up California in 2012 in one sentence, what would it be?
California is the most beautiful, broken place in America.
Hey, you want to hear a little bit of Grant Cardone's letter to Governor Brown? Here it is. I understand that I love this state, but when enough people like me move out of this state, which I believe they will, the state will pay the ultimate price with higher unemployment, further erosion of housing prices, and less tax revenue. Grant Cardone is here in studio with us now. Grant, by the way, I just want to start off by saying, did you notice the difference in the way Heidi dressed when interviewing you and when interviewing Governor Rick Perry?
I noticed that.
Yeah, she's in the ball cap, and with Perry, she's in the blue dress.
Because, you know,
she knows I'm not my dress that day. Okay?
I don't have to be politically correct. I can say anything I want. I'm not running for office.
All right, let me just push back a little bit here. What is to say that Grant Cardone isn't just making an idle threat? You're gaining some publicity.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. But, you know, I'm from Louisiana originally, and we don't make a lot of idle threats
He actually sold his house.
If we say
he
say we're going to knock your head off, it's probably coming off your shoulders. So I've already sold my house. It's in escrow. I'm already making plans to make the move. I'll be in Florida in 2 weeks getting a new driver's license.
And it's breaking my heart because he's got the most beautiful family that I would love to see here in California.
Look, we don't want to leave. It's not like, this was not my idea to leave, but when you take a guy like me that grinds and works, I'm not a rich guy. I've done extremely well. I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful to the state of California, but the reality is, you're talking about increasing my taxes 30%.
Your corporate taxes,
my
or
personal
your personal taxes.
Okay,
but it hasn't happened yet. You're talking about Governor Brown's.
But he's got a 65% majority. You know they're going to get support for it, man. I mean, we keep doing dumb things over and over. We have the highest electricity in the country, the highest gasoline prices in the country, the highest unemployment in the country, the highest foreclosures except for one other state. We have more unemployed people than New Hampshire, Vermont, and we got 20% of the people underwater in their homes. When I leave, this gets worse. When more people like me leave, it just gets worse, particularly for people that are earning $48,000 a year.
And the issue is, I said, you know, if that 13% that they raise it to was going to go to fix the problem, he'd stay, right?
Yeah, if it fixed the problem. But all they're saying is, we want money from you now to fix problems that are years old. I mean, we're just throwing money into an empty hole that's endless.
Like a state pension system that's about to go over the cliff.
Yeah, what, $500 billion in state pensions unfunded? If you don't have a big name, if you're not an Apple, a Facebook, the big names, they're not paying attention to you. The fact that I could write the governor a letter and can't get responded to, you see, that wouldn't happen in Austin. In Austin, I'd get a response.
But what's interesting,
what you just
said is so interesting to me, because Apple Where's it growing? In Texas.
Yeah,
That's where they're putting in their 4,000
And also,
compound.
most of their investments are run out of Nevada, which means they don't pay state taxes in California, but they're so giant they can defend themselves. I can't defend myself against the state of California.
Right.
What do? I keep asking this question. Austin is a smaller town, a much smaller town than Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco.
Much more attractive to live there, cheaper for an individual, cheaper for employees. I can pay less money to somebody there. Let's say this government is a company. Let's say it's BlackBerry. BlackBerry doesn't go raise their prices right now and start double charging their best clients.
Right.
They got to get competitive in the marketplace. They got to lower their pricing. Encourage me to stay here. Literally pay me to stay here because I'm productive.
I'd say go right to Jerry Brown and say, hey, have him reach out to us, the people that have either left and/or put
They're
together.
trying that. Grant tried. He wrote a letter, didn't get a response.
Yeah.
How do you get to Jerry Brown? Real quick, Bob.
I don't know. I'm asking him tonight. Call us.
All right, there you got it. And Grant?
All Americans should write Jerry Brown because this is an American problem, not a California problem.
Excellent
America
point.
is so massive. It could literally take down the entire country. It is too big to fail.
That's
It is
the
our
whole thing.
Greece.
California
Absolutely.
can't fail because it will take the country down.